Good evening and welcome tonight. INEC chairman appears before Senate, insists on the use of card reader for the polls to curb electoral malpractice. Collection of permanent voter cards now 75%. Emir of Kano urges residents to pick up their PVCs. Federal government urges vigilance as Boko Haram militants flee bombardment in the northeast. And 37 die in airstrike in southern Niger during military operations targeting Boko Haram.
On business news, House of Representatives constitute special committee to meet with Finance Minister over falling crude prices at the international market.
While on sports news, Guinea put Nigeria's qualification for the FIFA Under-17 World Cup on hold as it forced the world champions to a 1-1 draw at the CAF Under-17 Championship in Niger Republic.
INEC chairman Professor Tahiru Jega has revealed that the commission is in the process of tracing 4 million Nigerians for multiple registration. He said this at the Senate plenary today, where he answered questions on the commission's preparedness for the upcoming polls and reasons for the postponement. Professor Jega also demonstrated the use of the card reader to the senators. He explained that it takes about 30 seconds for card reconfirmation at the polling units. He also emphasized that the card reader is important for the elections, backed by Section 16, subsection 4 of the Constitution.
INEC chairman Professor Tahiru Jega makes his way into the Senate chamber. The Senate invited him to clear the air on some worrying issues pertaining to INEC's preparedness for the upcoming general elections. There have been widespread reports of the inability of Nigerians to collect their voters' cards and the outstanding issue of the legality of the use of card readers for the elections. Professor Jega said INEC is not violating the Constitution by using card readers for the elections. He then demonstrated how the card readers would work.
You're finished? No.
Done with the demonstration, lawmakers grilled Professor Jega on several issues. They sought to know how reliable the card readers are and what other backup plans the Commission has put on ground in the event that the card readers malfunction on election day.
In the highly unlikely event that a card reader fails, we have enough spares to deploy before the end of the accreditation at 1 p.m. and then adjust the time to gain for lost time where or if a card reader has failed. If we cannot replace before the end of accreditation, then the election in that particular voting point would be postponed to the following day when a new card reader will be provided for the election.
Although Professor Jega was optimistic that INEC would take advantage of the postponement of the elections to ensure that everything is put in place, he admitted that there were still unresolved problems.
Secondly, with regards to the question you asked about outstanding production of PVCs, I don't lie, and I will acknowledge that as I speak with you, there are about 800 to 1 million cards yet to be produced.
The postponement of the elections is already a foregone issue, but that did not stop lawmakers from calling the attention of the INEC chairman to one nagging issue.
Come 28th of March and 11th of April, will you commit yourself to us and Nigerians about the sanctity of these dates?
It's a very difficult question to answer because, yes, let me land. I have said consistently that there are things under the control of an electoral commission there are things that are not under the control of an electoral commission. For things that are under our control, we can give definite and categoric assurances. What is not under our control, it's futile, it's fruitless, it's useless to give a definite guarantee on them. So frankly, I think that question should be directed appropriately.
The to and fro between federal lawmakers and INEC chairman Professor Atahiru Jega lasted for more than 3 hours, with the INEC chairman trying to explain to lawmakers how the commission was dealing with issues with logistics, issues of the distribution of permanent voters' cards, and the legality or otherwise of the use of card readers for these elections. But despite the problems associated with PVCs and the card readers, Professor Jega maintained that they remain the most viable options for now for ensuring credible elections. Professor Jega also foreclosed the use of temporary voters' cards for the 2015 general elections. From the National Assembly, Linda Akibe, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, INEC has said that it has now distributed over 75% of the permanent voter cards for registered voters across the country, leaving about 16 million voters yet to collect theirs. The new figures released by the electoral body reveal that the umpire has given out 52,275,367 PVCs of the 68,833,476. A closer look at the list released by INEC shows that over 90% of voters in states like Zamfara, Nasarawa, Katsina, Jigawa, Kaduna and Gombe have collected their PVCs, while Lagos, Rivers, Oyo and Borno states still have about 30% of voters yet to collect theirs in each of the states. Although Ogun State Governor Amosun has expressed concern over the method by INEC on the distribution of the PVCs, alleging that about 60% of eligible voters in the state may be disenfranchised. The governor today visited the commission's headquarters in Abeokuta, the state capital, to discuss issues surrounding the PVC distribution. After a long closed-door meeting, Governor Amosun expressed his displeasure with INEC strategies, pointing out that both the permanent voter card and the continuous voter registration exercise have not been impressive in the state. The state's resident electoral commissioner, Mr. Timothy Bitoye, declined response and referred journalists to the national headquarters in Abuja.
If the newly registered number is about 400 and almost 450,000, and they just brought partly 150,000, it's even almost 300,000 that we are still expecting. So they should bring those 300,000 cards. They should not be bringing Ogun State card in batches. 30-something today, 40-something tomorrow, 60-something day after, and other states they're just giving them in one bulk figure. So please, we are appealing to them. They should bring our cards in Ogun State, and those alien cards that they brought to Ogun State, they should take it back and bring our own cards. So if they bring our cards, of course, we still, with what they are doing now, maybe at best we'll have about maybe 1 million out of about 1.9 or 1.8. So which means 800,000 cleverly must have been removed from exercising their franchise. So I'm appealing to them. They should do the needful. They should sort us out quickly, because from maybe Monday we'll all be out. They must give us our cards. We want to vote in Ogun State. If they cannot, let's even bring the newly registered cards. They should bring the CVR. They should bring those ones. All other states, they have collected their own. Why are they keeping the one for Ogun State? They should release it.
That's the Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosun. Now, staying with the collection of PVC, some prominent Nigerians from across the country have joined the Independent National Electoral Commission to urge Nigerians to ensure that they get their permanent voter cards before the new March 8th deadline. Some leaders are also demanding 100% distribution of the PVC, as every registered voter should not be disenfranchised. Traditional rulers like the Emir of Kano are also calling for mass enlightenment of Kano residents of the need to get their PVCs.
With the postponement of the 2015 elections by the Independent National Electoral Commission, the task of getting permanent voters' card for all registered voters seemed to be drawing attention and comments across the country. In Kano State, the Emir is asking traditional rulers to embark on an enlightenment campaign on the need for registered voters to collect their PVCs.
We encourage the over 5 million eligible voters we have to go out and collect their PVCs and vote. Failure to do this will be inimical to our people for generations to come.
The call for PVC distribution is also being echoed in north-central Nigeria as INEC's National Commissioner in charge of Kogi, Kwara and Niger states appeal to residents to seize the opportunity of the pole shift by getting the PVCs.
People should try and collect this voters' card. It's a legitimate right. And you cannot criticize your government or direct your government in any way if you have not taken any pains to go and do your voting. We cannot do it for you. We will do our best. We cannot go beyond our best.
Down South Cross River State, Governor Leah Lemoke calls for the training of INEC's ad hoc staff and the use of card readers, and he also insists on 100% PVC distribution.
INEC should use the opportunity of this delay that would have otherwise caused a crisis for this nation to actually ensure that they are fully prepared for the conduct of this exercise.
It's about 2 weeks to INEC's deadline for the PVC distribution, but with over 15 million registered voters yet to get their PVCs, will INEC meet up with the March 8th deadline? Only time will tell.
In part two, after the break, APC and PDP trade words over the violence during APC governorship rally in Okrika, Rivers State. Please stay with us.